Alright, so I decided on something, maybe I wouldn't necessarily call this easy, but definitely Tetris is something that you could do at your own pace. By the way, I didn't even know they made a Tetris 2. This is my first time hearing about it. But anyways, it's kind of like running. Like if you're into running, you're only really competing with yourself, right? You can weigh 500 pounds and you could time yourself going around the track and it might take you 12 hours, but really at the end of the day, there's there's no criteria upon which you could actually lose. I kind of like that type of game. But anyways, I've been working on a little computer program. I just released the first version for Mac OS. Windows and Linux versions are planned. It's a file management software called 412. And it's pretty cool, I think. I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out. But for future versions, I plan on having a built-in RSS reader. And you'll be able to create torrents from folders on your computer instantly and push them to an RSS feed. So it'll be really... I plan on using it to collaborate with people. I imagine it would be a very useful collaborative software, though I don't imagine it becoming terribly popular. But I'm kind of a nerd, I like RSS feeds. I don't really like using social media. I just like having one place to get all my updates. And when I'm on a blog or a news website or something, I always look for the RSS feed right away. And there once upon a time, I don't know if they still exist, there were tools for transforming social media feeds into RSS feeds. Aw, shoot, I just totally butchered that. Which is really cool. It's like, hey, I can get the good stuff from Twitter without having to go on it. Oh, sorry for dead naming Twitter. I can get the good stuff from X without having to go on that cesspool. That sounds like a win-lose. They lose because I'm not giving them any engagement. I win because I don't have to go on that, like I said, cesspool. X is a cesspool. But, Elon Musk, he hasn't only done bad things, I suppose. Even though he did try to go to Epstein's Island. He does, there's paid content on Twitter now. Which is pretty cool. It would be cool if capitalism didn't favor vapidity. Vapidness? I don't know what it's called. Idiocracy. That's what we're living in right now, guys. And look, I'm going to be brutally honest here. I've done my share to degrade the quality of the shared social space. But at the end of the day, I think, let's have some class. Let's try to respect people. Not just respecting people, by being a woke social justice warrior. Which is one way to do it. And I'm not knocking it. That's a good way to do it. But let's have some respect for the capacity of humankind to elevate itself beyond its basest urges. Because social media and all that shit, apologize for cussing, let's be honest, rage bait gets more clicks than just about anything. True crime gets more clicks than just about anything. I think a recent study showed that, 88% of Americans consume true crime content. And when you watch this stuff constantly, there's the dark side that copycat crimes, inspiring people with not the best intention, but then there's also the effect of making people feel terrified, making the world seem far more dangerous than it actually is, even though crime rates are pretty low compared to historical figures. Tetris is kind of easy, but here's the thing. If something is easy, then if you're competing in that thing, is it really easy? Like, there was a sport called handball I played in PE. Not the American handball, where you bounce the ball against the wall. But the European handball, which is like a mix of soccer and basketball. It's like soccer, but with your hands. Everyone said that game was easy, but if it's easy, then everyone would have an advantage. Just resetting everything. So if everybody's good at a game, then it's actually hard to be better than everyone else. You know? I don't know if I'm making any sense here. Oh, whoa! What just happened? That's cool. Oh, I think the ones with the circles on them, pretty sure they have little bombs embedded inside of them or something. Dead air. That's what they call it when you are on the radio and you got nothing to say. I've learned to become a little bit more talkative because a lot of my older videos, they had a ton of dead air and they're just awkward, and you know, they're still awkward, but you know, the dead air is like not there so much. So frig. Yeah, this sticks with me. Like, I really wish I wouldn't have deleted this guy's comment. I deleted a comment because it upset me. I wish I would have responded and like grew a spine. But the guy was like, "Oh wow, man, you're so edgy, cussing all the time. Maybe you'll get to 30 views." Here's a tip, man. You don't want to watch anything with naughty words in it. Then an age-appropriate form of content would probably be Sesame Street or like, you know, Baby Looney Tunes or something. But I'm not here to provide you with that. I'm not going to sand myself down just for the Mormons. No heat against the Mormons. I mean, I'm Mormon, a very bad one. I don't qualify to go to the temple because I drink coffee and, you know, all that. But... oh! Yes. I have a great respect for anybody who can abstain for alcohol and tobacco and coffee and tea and just not cuss and just basically be as close to as perfect as possible, like a monk or something. I don't have that sort of discipline. I mean, I do have some habits that serve me well, like waking up at a regular time and meditating for a certain amount of time each day. But I don't think we should expect all of mankind to be able to abide by that, and we shouldn't punish them for not doing it. The Mormon Church, the LDS Church, this is where I have beef, is that they kind of expect every single person in their church to basically be perfect. You know, obviously nobody's perfect except for Jesus, but they want people to be as Christ-like as possible. And that's what we should all strive for, but they, like, rigidly expect it. Like, it's not just an ideal, it's like something that needs to be enacted. It's crazy. I went to a restaurant with this guy from the LDS Church, and he wouldn't order a beer-battered steak because it had beer in it. Seventh-day Adventists are the same way. They're a lot like the Mormons, honestly. But hey, what the hell am I doing rambling about the LDS Church on a Tetris video? Hopefully that sets off a chain reaction. Beautiful, beautiful. Magnifique. Or magnifique. Anyways, guys. I say anyways a lot. You know, I had a cousin that said anyways a lot. She ended up blowing her brains out, which is actually very sad, but... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! You're telling me I can control the individual pieces? That's actually, like, that's a game changer. If only I had known that. Yeah, and what I said a little bit ago was kind of flippant. I mean, S word, I hate to say that, but you know, it's YouTube. Hop on the bandwagon. It's not a topic to be taken lightly. It's just that people have to find a way to cope. See, here I go, degrading the quality of the shared social space again. Alright, I'm gonna go for like one more take. This will be like take 2. Says, I feel like I picked up on this. Alles klar, as the Germans say, or at least as my German teacher used to say. I read a book one time. You know, every time I go to share a story, it's like I read a book. It's not that I don't have any life experiences, I'm just more comfortable sharing the things that I read. A lot of life experiences aren't the best, but I read a book called The Xenophobe's Guide to the Germans, and it said the Germans love to say alles in Ordnung. That's their favorite phrase. When alles in Ordnung, all is in order, everything operates smoothly, and everyone can continue, you know, basically on with their day, and the gears of society are lubricated, and they move as simply as possible. This means, you know, Jordan Peterson, the whole clean your room thing. But also it's deeply tied into capitalism. When everybody can consistently make ends meet, and people are spending on a regular basis, and all the shops can stay open, then life feels meaningful. There's a regularity to it. Alright. Hey, what's going on? And I said, yeah, you know that song, guys? Tell me you know that. Everyone knows that song. That song has literally billions of views. And this is literally, not white girl literally. Shout out to Cookie Prince, who's been engaging with my videos recently, dude. I really appreciate that, man. And I hope that your mental health goes good. I wish blessings for you and your family. Think people like you, Cookie Prince, and other people that follow this channel, it reminds me of a simpler time in YouTube history when it was more tight-knit and people weren't just doing everything for money. People weren't just doing everything for clicks. I really want to keep that spirit alive. I really think that Web 3.0 is just going to be Web 1.0 Redux. With websites like NeoCities, people returning to RSS feeds and blogging, and people are waking up to the fact that the mainstream internet sucks. Honestly. You kind of have to carve out your own space in this world. Otherwise, you're just going to go mad. And when you spend too much time on those sorts of platforms, you get the impression that the whole world is mad. Given what's going on in politics with the wars and such, it's very easy to believe that. But I'm an optimist. I'm a true optimist all the way through. I have to be, otherwise I would see no point in the world. I truly believe that people will collectively come to their senses. But in order for collective realization to happen, there has to be individual realization at a very wide scale. So every individual who is capable in participating in this betterment, that goes a long way. You know, one person really can make a difference. At the end of the day, we're all just one person. I don't mean this in a monist way, like everyone on Earth is one person. Sure, sometimes that's a useful ideology. But I mean, you are one person, I'm one person, everyone I know is just a person. Our collective efforts are built from individuals. And as an American, I think I have a highly individual mindset. But I would also like to think that I'm sort of ecologically minded as well. Like, it's not all just about me. Whatever benefits the people I care about benefits me. Sometimes competition's fun, but it should just be that, fun. You know? Game theory studies competition. And game theory is a very apt name for the theory of competition. Because at the end of the day, capitalism, success, fame, sports, games of dominance, it's all just games. Games of the ego. And the ego is not necessarily a bad thing. So, people in the West oftentimes talk about the ego like it's a bad thing. And I mean people in the West who are into people in the East. I think they really misconstrue Eastern philosophy. Because the ego is a protective layer that allows us to make sense of the world and relate things to ourselves. It's a source of meaning. At the end of the day, everything factors through the self. There was geez, I can't remember something. This is gonna drive me nuts. Somebody Schraber, I forget his first name, but he was one of the early schizophrenic patients, and he was psychoanalyzed by Sigmund Freud in the early 20th century. And he wrote that, well, the reason why he was analyzed was because he had a very bizarre point of view where he thought that God spoke to him through radiant nerves, and he also thought he was turning into a voluptuous woman, and it distressed him. Which is like an early case of gender dysphoria. But it wasn't called that. But anyways, he wrote that it might seem egotistical, but to him, in his schizophrenic mind, everything factors through himself. Everything has personal relevance to himself, otherwise it is meaningless. And I really think that's true for all people, whether they realize it or not. Most people filter out everything that's not meaningful to themselves. But even if you were not to do that, even if you were to include things that are allegedly not meaningful to yourself, you would find some meaning in it. You would find some way to relate it to your own life, and you would find some way to weave it into the network of your knowledge and experience. I hope I'm making sense. Usually I save this sort of rambling for my blog, but like I said, my blog, I'll leave a link to the description in the description. Oh! This is the play. Trust me. Just trust me, bro. Yeah, we got some dead air here, but it's okay. Sometimes we should just learn to be comfortable in silence. A moment of silence for everyone that's dying. Whether that be here in America or overseas in war-torn countries such as Palestine and Ukraine. It honestly makes me very sad thinking about it. I really don't like to get into politics very often, and for the longest time I've avoided them, but war and human death and suffering, I really don't consider that purely political. It's all about human lives. These are real people who are being affected. Beautiful. It is kind of tricky getting one part of the piece to land and getting the other part to move. This game definitely takes a little bit of an adjustment compared to the classic Tetris. This is going to be perfect. I don't feel too confident in my ability to stack very many more lines. I got invited to a party where everyone was doing lines. I just played Tetris the whole time. I had my own fun. True story. Fuck, I thought for some reason I thought the red piece would fall. Ah, I'm totally blowing it. Two birds with one stone. Yeah, it's starting to go a little fast for my liking. Yeah, my intuition is repeatedly failing me. I'm just gonna speed it up. Anyways, guys, Thanks for watching this video. As always, peace and love, as they say in the active inference community.